Well, for like the second date, I came out to the farm, and that's when he showed me around, and it's when I just really got to see more into his life, and I loved it. I mean, it's kind of funny though, because my grandparents both were farmers, and when I was little, I'd always tell my parents that I wanted to live on a farm, and so it's just like a joke now we have, because now I'm gonna be a farmer's wife and living on the farm my whole life. So just kind of crazy how that worked out. So Ken and I were just working at our summer job at Highlands Golf Course, and we were just talking about boys, and she randomly brought up Josh, and it's like, you should meet this guy, like he's really sweet, and showed me a picture of him, and it's like, oh, he's cute. And so she's like, I'll text him, and I was like, oh no, and you just have to know Kenna. But she just texted him and went on her way and trying to hook us up.
It was Kenna Obermeyer, and she's like, Josh, I have a friend for you to meet. And I was like best friends with Kenna's boyfriend, and we'd went to high school together, all of us. And so I was like, okay, you know, how old is she? What's she do? And she told me, and so yeah, she told me to text her, and I thought it was kind of weird. I was like, I don't really want to just randomly text this girl that I've never met before. And so later that evening, I ended up texting her, and
we were all just freaking out. So that's how that started. And then I kind of told him I wanted to meet him in person. I'm not a huge texting person, and I like to meet people in person. And so then we planned our date to go golfing.
So the first date, we had planned to go golfing. It was gonna be Kenna, Keaton, and Sam and I ended up ditching them. It was supposed to be on a Sunday, and I went to the river with one of my buddies, and we went four-wheeling and stuff. And
I just remember being like, he's just like the other boys. Like he's not anything special, because he just wanted to ditch me on our first date. But I remember Kenna was so mad, and
I got home that night, and I could tell Sam was upset that I kind of ditched her, I guess, for the first date. So I told her, I said, well, let's meet up sometime this week, you know, whenever works, I'll make it work. And so we planned on Tuesday for meeting up for our official first date on that Tuesday.
So Tuesday came, and I was so excited, and I just have this weird thing in my head. I've always said this, like to all my friends, they know that if I ever went on a date, if they didn't come to the door, I didn't think they were the one or whatever. I
got to her house, I guess, and I didn't come to the door, which I should have, but I didn't really know where I was at. I was on Turtle Creek, and I pulled up there, and I called her, and she didn't answer, and I was like, oh no, like this isn't good.
We actually had a really great date. We went to Gate 25 and had some beers and tacos. Then we went to McKinney's and had more beer, and it was all free, so Josh got out of it pretty easy. And then it just seemed like we just talked all night, just talk, and it was really fun. Well, Josh said I talked a lot, but I don't remember that.
Yeah, free beer and a good-looking gal. I mean, it was a perfect night.
Well, I was out on his farm, and I was gonna be leaving. It was like our second date, and
we were just watching a movie or something, I think, and she had told me that she was gonna be going on vacation like the next week with her parents. They're going to Lake of the Ozarks, and so I wasn't gonna be seeing her for a while, and so took her outside, I guess, and we were standing there and playing fetch with the dog, and I was just kind of kicking rocks.
It was really awkward just standing outside, because I needed to go back to Lincoln, and we were playing with Maverick, his old dog, and playing fetch with him, and then I was like, okay, well, gotta go, and so like I went and hugged him, and
I wasn't gonna go in for the first move, but then sure enough, she went in, and
he's just so respectful and sweet, but I was like, I want to kiss him, and so I went in for the kiss, and that was our first kiss.
She was actually the first one to say that she loved me. I think it was on my birthday, or right before my birthday actually, we were going to Grand Island to Keith Urban concert at the State Fair.
It was really random. I just remember we got into Grand Island and we just had really good talk driving to Grand Island, and I was just so excited that he was going to my home, and I just know that we had shared a lot of our values together, and just it kept seeming like everything kept coming together so perfectly. And
we are having some deep talks, and she just looked at me and she said, "I love you, Josh," and it kind of caught me off guard just because I wasn't really prepared for that, and it was right before I was pulling up to her parents' house, you know, so it was like nerve-wracking, but it's like, well, you know, I love you too. It just was like, you know, it just felt right when she did say it, so the timing was good.
Yeah, I never thought I could find someone that I wanted, or every little thing to work out, and it just kept going and going the way it should, I guess. Yeah, even when he didn't come to the door.
So the proposal, I finally went out and talked to her dad. I think it was on a Wednesday, and we met at Riverside and had a beer, and finally after 15 minutes of small talk, I brought it up, and you know, he was happy and he was excited, and he asked me when I was gonna do it, and I said, I really don't know, like I have no idea.
And it was a bad day for both of us, and I remember I was making dinner and he wasn't home from work yet, and the electricity went out, and I mean, just everything was just going wrong, and he came home, and I already was out at the chickens, and I fed them and watered them, and he's like, let's go see the chickens, and it took him a while to get me out there, because I was like, why? Like, we already went out there. And
she didn't know that there's a ring in the house somewhere, and it was just burning a hole in my pocket. Like I couldn't wait any longer. Like I just knew this was the time. So they hadn't started laying eggs yet because they were only like 5 months old, I think. So it was like gonna be another month before they started laying eggs. And so
then he told me that there was an egg in there, and I freaked out because I wanted that so bad. I wanted an egg from them. We checked every day, or he did, and so I went in and looked for the egg, and I was kind of mad. It was like an emotional roller coaster, because I was like, where's the egg? You just told me there was an egg. And then I turned around and
I was on one knee, and so when she turned around and came out of the chicken coop, I was sitting there with the ring, and she was pretty surprised, I have to say.
I don't even know what happened. I kind of blacked out. But I do remember, like, I think the first thing I said to him was like, did you ask my dad? I really just blacked out, so.
What I love most about Sam, she's just so compassionate. I mean, everything she does, she puts her whole heart into. I mean, when it comes to loving me or just loving her friends, being there for her friends or family, I mean, that's her number one priority, loving God. She's brought me so much closer in my faith, and I mean, she's such a great person, and she just leads by example, and she's gonna be a great nurse someday, and hopefully a great mother someday. I can't wait to hopefully have kids with her someday and start our own family, and I'm really looking forward to that, so.
Oh man. I love how he's so selfless and hardworking, and he never puts himself first. I mean, all the time he's like, what can I do for you? And he just makes me so happy no matter what mood I am in. I can be in many moods. He's just like always there to put a smile on my face, and he's just so like family oriented and cares about everyone. And I mean, he's literally the perfect man I could picture myself with, and he's just great.
Just want to thank everyone for coming and supporting us and being there when we start our lives together as husband and wife. It's going to be a fun journey, so we're just excited that everyone can be there to help us celebrate. Let's have a good time.